All right, guys, another episode of Shellonomics. Christian and I are coming to you from a concert. Something that we never thought we needed, but maybe I guess I'll tell you that we never knew that we wanted it, but we always needed it. We're going to do the trilogy here. Christian from TMNT Dare Talk is going to help us break this down. We're going to talk about the Coming Out of Their Shells tour. We're going to talk about the preview tape, the main concert that ended up being a pay-per-view and a tour all over the United States, and then the sequel that a lot of people didn't know even existed. So, Christian, how you doing today? What were your first thoughts on hearing the TMNT in a music atmosphere?
Well, a long time I didn't even know that this thing existed because the Coming Out of the Shells tour was mostly in the USA. I know they did some shows in like Norway, I think, and so on and so forth, but I never heard about it until, like in 96, it must have been. I found the internet and then I found the official TMNT website back then and I read about it and I thought, wait, what's that? The Turtles were on tour, they had a musical. It blew my mind. And yeah, soon after that, I ordered, I think from eBay or something, I ordered the cassette tape, and I listened to the music and I listened to it over and over again. And to be honest, I enjoyed it. I sang along to it. It was fun. It was cool. It's something different. I mean, it's one of these things where a lot of people say these are not the real turtles. This is stupid. This is weird. And yeah, it's weird and it's kind of stupid, but I really enjoy it for what it is. It's unusual.
I agree. A lot of cartoons that actually become popular, you'll get your movie, and there are some other franchises that have gone this route, just not in the music route. You know, you've seen like Sesame Street Live, like or Disney on Ice is another popular, where they bring the characters to life, and the voice actors usually stay the same, and they just go on tour with a new story. Marvel's done a couple. I just found out that Pokemon actually had one too, and they were very popular, having like these Pokemon costumes around. Power Rangers, I did get to see that one live on stage, which was really cool. Maybe one day we'll do a Power Rangers podcast, but that's for another day. But just to show just how popular this franchise was, they went from a comic to cartoon to movie to video games. So why not, go on tour? Because in our minds, what else do you think they could have done, Christian, right? If you had a movie that was engaging with Shredder, unless you were to make some new, villain up, how could you have a live action series? And unfortunately, I don't think your parents were this way. Mine weren't either. But a lot of parents were crying about the violence. So how else could you do a show that really didn't involve ninja action besides a couple kicks and punches and a swing from Donatello's bow to get these guys to go all over the globe? So let's get right into it. We're gonna start breaking down the preview tape first before we get into they actually had like a making of the Coming Out of Their Shells tour, didn't they?
Yeah. The making of the Coming Out of the Shells tour was a VHS tape. It was around 30 minutes, where we get the story how this show got made. Well, sort of, kind of. It's like a mockumentary because everybody in this video is saying that the turtles, they are the real Ninja Turtles. They coming from the sewers. They put down their weapons. They picked up an instrument. And they are getting ready to show the world that how much good you can do with music and not with violence. And this whole thing is like, this video, the making of the Coming Out of the Shells tour, is like a fever dream because it's so crazy that everybody's like, yeah, these turtles, they're the best musicians I've ever heard, and stuff like this. And the turtles walking around like, yeah, these are the real turtles. And this is so much. So this is so funny. This whole thing is so funny. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, we won't spend too much more time on this one. Just my own personal feedback. We watched this probably when we were, maybe 7, 8 years old, right? Give or take. For me, at least, how old were you when you first saw this tape?
Oh, it must have been later.
Okay.
Because as I said, I haven't heard about it until I was on the internet. So I think it must have been around the year 2000 when I first saw this whole thing.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so you had to see this, like you say, with different eyes. For me, I actually found the concert on pay-per-view back in the day, but I didn't see this tape. So I my buddy, it was funny. I had the concert, he had the making tape. And I saw it, when I was a kid, and you're exactly right. When you're watching this as a kid, it's different. Your eyes are glued to those turtles, how they're talking, and just if you guys are interested, I believe these are on YouTube too. Just bless YouTube, because I don't think these ever made the DVD, unfortunately. So if you are looking to check these out, you can find them there. What else do I want to talk about real quick? They have the origin story of Raph and Mike, how they decided to play these instruments. Like Christian said earlier, all these humans, and these are real people. Even Mark Friedman, the licensor of the Turtles, is in here, who was hyping them up in this show. You get an appearance from him, which is very rare. You don't really see him anywhere except for documentaries. I like the term you used too, mockumentary, because there were people who said they were going to be as popular as Madonna, they compared them to. They said they might go in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, it's hilarious. You see the Turtles, they're singing "You Gotta Fight to Be Free." What's "You Count on Us"? The name of pretty much like their main song. Yeah. They're sitting there playing the drums in the back like they're warming up for the band. The guys are talking, telling them what they can do. What else is it? They're singing the Pizza Power song in the building, which spoiler alert, I actually purchased. We talked about NECA in other shows. I just bought the NECA playset, the Channel 6 building. I have the coming out of their shell toys. I can't wait to put them up on the rooftop and relive that Pizza Power preview. So I'm very hyped to do that. That's going to be great. What else? Donatello's voice is different in this one for the American one compared to the real pay-per-view. What else? Just some other funny spots where the Turtles are just yelling, "Yo, yo," and then Raphael just says, "Whoa, cowabunga, dude." Just like a very random spot. There was a couple other funny parts, like we said. Leonardo, for some reason, says, "People didn't know we were real." It's like, what are you talking about? Just they acted like they were like real people. They show how they come up from the sewers. And what was a really cool thing? So this was actually a really cool thing. I don't know, you probably have caught this because you're like me. I take it you're a big MCU fan of Marvel movies, and we always love the ending credit scene. So for some reason, if you go past the credits in this, do you remember that spot? Did you see Splinter come out? Did you ever make it past the credits?
Yeah, this is like so weird. We get the credits, and then the Turtles, they're like, "Thank you, we love you, thank you." And then Splinter comes up, and he's like, "They're definitely happening musically." And I never understood what this means. What are you talking about?
I had the exact same thoughts. I'm like, and he comes out of like this like ooze tube. I don't know what in the hell that was, but the voice of Splinter and that made me laugh so much too. So before we get into the concert though, there was actually another spot that we forgot to mention. And I want to share this really quick because this is actually special to me. Now, my grandmother, rest in peace, bless her soul, she used to let me watch Turtles at her house. Now, I was always a very good boy, a little hyper, but who wasn't when you were a kid and you had some sugar and grandma gave you some candy or cookies? But grandma liked Oprah. So when I went to her house in the summertime, she said, "Michael, the Ninja Turtles are going to be on Oprah." I said, "You've got to be kidding me, Grandma." No, she's like, "No, they're actually going to be on Oprah Winfrey. Watch." So I watch it, and I actually got to see the whole talk show. Did you ever know that they were on an Oprah Winfrey Oprah Winfrey talk show?
Yeah, I've seen this, and this is once again such a weird thing. When the Turtles, like all these kids are there, and the Turtles are talking. Yeah, we're doing music now, and there's so much weird thing. Like what was it? One of the kids says, "Hey, what's special about Splinter?" And like Raphael gets really angry. It's like, "Hey, what's so great about your father?" It's like, whoa, we want to fight.
Yeah, Raphael the hothead against kids. I thought that was great. Oprah makes a joke about like interspecies dating or something too. That was kind of awkward about April, dude. And like if she was crushed. What were your thoughts on that spot?
Oh, that's one of the weirdest thing in all of Turtles history when they're like, yeah, we talked with April about it, but she's not able to hold her breath long enough. What does this even mean?
Oh man,
this is the weirdest thing.
This is probably going to be one of the weirdest podcasts we ever have here on Shellonomics on YouTube and Spotify. If you haven't yet, be sure to like and subscribe and comment down below on other Turtle Turtle Media you'd like us to cover. They were also on another TV show out here called Regis, and I believe it was, at that time, it was Regis and Kathy Lee in the 90s. They talk on there for a little bit, which was pretty cool. But here we go. Now, before they were on VHS tape, it was a pay-per-view, and they were actually on tour. I'm just curious, was this just a United States only tour, Christian, or did they ever tour in Germany?
I'm not completely sure right now. I know that they were on tour through the USA from 1990, 1991. And I think in 92, they even went overseas, like they did some shows in Norway, I think. I'm not sure about Germany. But, well, they never were near enough to me, I guess, because I've never heard about this as a kid. So, yeah, in the pay-per-view, they were even in the Radio City Music Hall in New York, which really means something. And one thing is that the album was sold 3 million times.
Really?
It's impressive, I gotta say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? You have some really good, talented people out there who can barely, crack anything. 3 million, and I think that was also because just another goofy spot from the preview tape. Just to backtrack, because we do have to mention Pizza Hut really pushed this a lot. And if I used to go to Pizza Hut as a kid, my grandma every Saturday, we would go meet up at her house. Then we'd go out for pizza. We'd play the Turtles in Time arcade game. And then my dad would give us $1 because it was almost like a jukebox. I don't know if you remember these, if you had these back home in Germany, but like you would push a button and it was the CD tracks and they would just rotate. And they're like, oh, there's coming out of their shells. And I would always just hit the Pizza Power song or any of those songs that you could always play. And just another goofy spot in the preview tape with the Turtles come out where the businessmen are talking business, and then Donatello just randomly says, what are you business people in suits talking about? Business? Just some random conversations they have.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Fantastic.
Oh, God, yes, indeed. So let me go to this pay-per-view. Feel free to talk about this however you'd like. Just comparing the first song to the VHS tape, I was curious which one you like better, because the one that we got at home on the CD or the cassette tape was more like a acoustic version of Coming Out of Their Shells, and I was very confused because I actually had the cassette tape before the concert, so I was like, wow, I like them both. I'm curious if you had a favorite.
Yeah, I also like them both, but as I said, I had the cassette tape before I've seen the show, before I've seen the video. So I listened to this over and over again. So I guess I would say that I prefer the tape version, but it's in my opinion, it's a really good song. I enjoy it. It's cool. Yeah. I always thought that there's like this line in the song, like singing in the sewer is a wonderful sound. I'm not sure if I would agree with that because I don't think the sound down there is that good. But hey, come on, if it works for you. Yeah. And one thing about these turtles, if you remember when they were on stage, they always were wearing this jackets, and we saw that they didn't really have their shells on. And this was it was kind of weird. They looked so thin here. Yeah. I mean, the costumes were actually not that bad. I gotta say, they were not Hansen style, but not that bad. But it was always weird that the turtles didn't have shells, or it seems like they didn't have shells there.
I thought that was great too. It was also interesting to see on the Coming Out of Their Shells preview tape. I'm not sure why. Maybe I can try and find somebody or check out someone else who had a podcast with them. The stars on their eyeballs look so cool, and they didn't have them on the concert tape. It was different how they look different in the preview tape compared to here. So as we'll slowly guide you through this, guys, we'll go back and forth with our thoughts. So that's how the show starts. You get a nice little like music playing in the background. You get like the drums coming out of their shells live. They get a nice ovation. Yo, dudes and dudettes, give it up for Don, Mike, Raph, and Leo, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They come out like a band. The music's playing. They're all going great. They're rocking around. And right after that, we get Cam Clark voicing Leonardo from the cartoon, which I thought was great. The voice actors from Mike, Raph, and Donatello I thought were also good. But yeah, after this, how did you like Little by Little as we break this down? Feel free to guide us up to, I guess, the first time we see Shredder and Splinter, if you want to go there, and then I'll take back over.
Yeah, I always thought that it was weird that only Leonardo was had his normal voice actor in Cam Clark. Why didn't the others also voice the Turtles? Would have been cool. But yeah, Splinter and Shredder, because there's a storyline there. Because the story is pretty much that Shredder wants to steal all the music of the world because he hates music. And Splinter, Turtles, and April want to stop him, the usual. And Splinter, well, Splinter looks a bit rough here, I gotta say.
Yes, I agree.
And Shredder looks really weird because he's got like this helmet, and through the helmet we see so much of his face that we usually don't see. It's such a weird helmet, but I gotta tell you one thing, that Shredder in this thing is my favorite character. He's so funny. The guy who plays him has the time of his life. I don't know if I'm jumping all over the place here.
That's okay.
But if you remember when Shredder was on stage and talking to the kids, he was making fun of these kids, like he's talking to one of the kids, like, "Hey, haven't I seen your face on milk?"
Correct, milk carton. Yep,
milk carton. Yeah, and hey, wouldn't your mother like a one-way trip to the Technodrome? Like, whoa, dude! Shredder was a highlight for me in this whole thing, even though his costume is kind of weird.
No, I agree. We also had Peter Renaday from the cartoon voice Splinter, which helped his character. Otherwise, it would have been very weird if they had no disrespect to the person who said they're definitely happy musically from the preview tape. That would have been a little weird. Yes, the Turtles talk about how they're going for music instead of weapons, which I guess is weird. But again, this with the outcry of parents, maybe they're just trying to push this. You see the Turtles in the back with Splinter. Splinter does a song, Skipping Stones, which is a weird song, but kind of a cool, almost like a Zen, spiritual song. Just, he gives a very nice lesson in there too, which I like, very well voiced by Peter Renaday again here, just about anything you do, a stone will touch. So make sure you only make good rings. I always like that message. The one that always stayed home with me was the quote, "The smallest things make the biggest difference." That's kind of inspiration for me. That's kind of how I live my life. Little things, make your bed, say hi to your mom and dad, call that buddy when they need help. Little things always add up, and they definitely make the biggest difference. What's weird too is on the cassette tape, we'll go into this later when we get to the next show, but one of the songs, Sing About It, was actually not on this pay-per-view tape. It ended up being on the Getting Down in Your Town show, which I thought was interesting. They just have it play for a second when they do check it out. And we also get Human Baxter Stockman, which I thought was kind of weird because, again, it's if you're going with the cartoon, Baxter was already mutated into the Fly. What were your thoughts on the Baxter high-pitched character in this one? And no Mousers either.
Yeah, Baxter is wild in this. He looks pretty much like he did in the cartoon, so he was a white guy and with a lab coat and everything. And as you said, no Fly, no Mousers. He was just like the assistant of Shredder. And yeah, he was so hyper in this whole thing. Like, yes, Master Shredder, ha ha ha, and he runs around the stage.
Yeah,
and he's so crazy. But yeah, I think it works because Shredder needed like a henchman. I mean, later we see some foot ninjas who the Turtles fight. But yeah, with the whole thing with the technology, Shredder wants to steal the music of the world. It works. Yeah, he's crazy. Like even Shredder gets annoyed of him. So
Yeah, it's pretty much just
Yeah.
like I guess because they probably couldn't afford to have the Bebop and Rocksteady Super Mutants here, they had to do something, and Baxter was probably the easiest character. Just hey, here's a
Yeah.
human, throw him in there. Shredder almost, he calls Baxter all these random names like he would diss Bebop and Rocksteady. I'm with you. This Shredder reminds me of James Avery or a nice old school WWF heel. Like Jerry the King Lawler, like how he would always talk trash to his opponents and all that goofy stuff. So Shredder comes out after Splinter sings, and they get all, he like does like a freeze ray to him and says he's going to rule the world, taking away all the music. And the Turtles play dumb, like, nah, we're okay. There's nobody here. We get to hear some other crazy songs like Tubin, Surfing Subterranean, with some weird alligators that come on dancing on the stage, which was just random. We also get a song Pizza Power, which I thought was cool because you hear that in the Turtles in Time arcade game. I thought that was a nice little touch, and I like that song. Donatello and them, they're all, well, what's funny is when you watch the tape, do you remember all the Turtles were throwing pizzas and Donatello tried to kick his and he missed?
Yeah, there are so many weird things on stage, as I said, like this alligators in hula costumes, and during the song "Walk Straight," some military guys in tank tops come out and dance with the turtles. Like, who are you guys? It's so crazy.
Oh my God, yeah. And during the Splinter skipping stones, I thought it was kind of weird because they show like a flashback and Raphael sitting with a kid. We never get to hear what the story is that he told Splinter, but Splinter has like the purple robe. Again, I'm surprised they didn't use that robe for the pay-per-view, because if you remember that spot where he grabs the stone, it looks a lot better, that Splinter, but we don't get to see that version anywhere. Do you remember that spot too?
Yeah, and it's also the same with the Turtles. Every time we see the Turtles backstage or in the making of, they have different costumes like than the ones they have on stage. So there must be different sets of costumes. It was really weird, and yeah, during Skipping Stones when they showed like all this random clips of people in the streets and things like this, like it looks like I don't know, a Phil Collins music video or
Yeah,
something.
almost like I don't know if you're a Beatles fan, but have you ever seen the Yellow Submarine cartoon movie?
Yeah, as a kid I've seen it. Yeah.
It reminds me of the
So
look at all
weird.
the lonely people. That's what that spot reminds me of. So we're kind of on the same page there with all those homeless people walking around and whatnot. So we're getting to almost like the halfway point. So Shredder finally is here. April actually is in this show too, and instead of Vernon, we get Kip, who is her assistant. Again, the Turtles play a dumb like, oh, Shredder's not here. There was Roundhum. They do a little Jeopardy spot, which I thought was kind of cool, to get into Cowabunga, as our good friend Christian talked out. Cowabunga! Baxter's just like a kid on pixie sticks, man. He is just as high as a kite, running around like Tigger with all his energy. And I'm going to take it back to you, Christian, because Shredder is here and the Foot Clan invade. So how did you like the battle sequence and all that with the foot fight, for what it's worth?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, the Foot Ninjas appeared. And one more thing, as I said, that there's this reporter guy, Kip. I never understood why they invented a new character. He's so Vernon. He's totally like Vernon.
Yes.
He's a coward and everything. It could have been Vernon. That would have been it. But I don't know. And yeah, then, as I said, like the Foot Ninjas appear. Turtles have to fight them. It's not the greatest fight scene, but you gotta remember that they were on stage, and probably the guys in the turtle costumes, they didn't see a lot of the stage, so they're like were trying to hit them as good as they could. It's crazy, and yeah, as I said, what happens next? Yeah, the Turtles want to get rid of Shredder. They want to throw him out, and
he takes over. He makes the Turtles weak. I was shocked. He comes in and the Turtles are like gonna like throw up.
Yeah, he's like sucking the life energy out of the Turtles, and they're weak and they have to retreat. And so Shredder finally has won, and now he can go through with his plan to destroy all the music. Oh yeah, and April gets caught by Shredder. There's so much going on, and this is like where the part where we then Kip walks through the backstage, tries to find the Turtles. and it's it's crazy. All the while, Shredder is on stage and having fun, making fun of the kids. As I said, that's my favorite part of the whole
Oh,
thing.
God, absolutely. What's your name? Ben? Big Ben. I mean, and I don't know if you could do this in 2025 with how sensitive people are. These were just made for jokes and just fun. He was not hurting anybody. I thought these were great. He's yelling at the kids, sit down. That seat's made out of velvet. You pay for those seats, then sit in them. What were some other funny parts? Then he does a goofy spot, which just with the writing of the show, he says he's locked all the doors, but then says, get out. And I'm like, wait. If you locked us in, how can we get out? So he was just a very funny character. He starts blowing up records in his thing. I thought that was pretty cool with the foot soldiers having like cannons just as a kid shooting the music and turning it into like stardust or gold dust with the little machine guns they had. And then how did you like Shredder singing? He says he hates music, but he writes a song and sings I Hate Music, which I thought was kind of a funny song.
Yeah, it's so weird. As I said, Shredder says, I hate music, so I sing a song about hating music. I mean, it's a rap song, so does this mean that rap music is not real music? I don't know. But yeah, I Hate Music is one of two songs that were not on the tape. The other one was what was the other one by Mikey?
Oh, Follow Your Heart. Yep, that's the one that Michelle Ivy loves. That's on her VH1 tape. And I'm like, wow, it's really cool. Somebody else likes that song. So, yeah, we dig a little bit deeper here. The Turtles are very weak, but they have to find out what's going on. For some reason, I guess another easy thing to do, Shredder is stealing voices. He takes Kip's voice. He takes April's voice. As a kid, I always did like the Vernon wannabe Kip because he's got like a little light sword. Now, again, this is just something that was cool in the 80s and 90s. We were really big into stuff that glow in the dark. You go to a circus, you get that green light tube or like a sword, and he's like snakes, and he like just attacks these little pipes. I thought that was hilarious as a kid. I'll probably still laugh at it if I see that anytime soon. April does a beautiful job singing. What's funny is then the Turtles come back up, and I guess we can kind of bring it home and then plug our little spots here. So finally, the Turtles have a cloaking device to finally get into Shredder's thing. And really quick, another funny spot was when Shredder does take all the music of the world. There's a little guy in an elevator, and he freaks out because even elevator music is gone. So I'll take it back to you now, Christian. Go ahead.
Yeah, gotta say, April's song, April Ballade, I always like this song. She has a great voice, I gotta say. And it's like this 80s power ballad. I really like April Ballade. And yeah, as I said, all the music in the world is gone, but then the Turtles come in with their cloaking device. And this was like, what is this product placement? Because the Turtles say that they have this cloaking device based on the magnet strips from the American Express card. They really say American Express card. And so they sneak up on Shredder. And yeah, like the Turtles, they start singing to like overload the machine, if I remember correct. They start singing No Treaties. But it doesn't work. But we have to believe in music. It's like the whole thing, like music is the most powerful thing in the world. And this is like, yeah, here Mikey sings Follow Your Heart. Yeah, so the Turtles, they come together, they fight together, they sing together, and as Splinter says, together with our friends, we can defeat Shredder. And then everybody, as with the audience, they sing Count on Us to fight Shredder. And yeah, this is like the part where the machine overloads, and yeah, pretty much Shredder's plan is over. Shredder is defeated.
Yep, and they sing a song, You Can Count on Us, and Bring It Home. A couple other funny things I liked here, which I'm sure you enjoyed as well, just because me and you love our turtles and love anything that has to do with turtles. No, Donatello, you will break your shield. It got confusing on how they could break the shield because they're singing, but it's like the cloaking device is not able to break it. They all get mad. I was very shocked at how disrespectful Leonardo was to Master Splinter. What do you want us to do, man? Kill ourselves? I was like, wow. Leo's the one who got pissed off and talked to Splinter. Leo's the one who was always, teacher's pet Splinter. So I thought that was funny. I always like how they yell at the kids where, they say, "Can we count on you?" Yeah, and he's like, "Shh, quiet, quiet, quiet." I was like, wow, they want to hype these kids up and then have them be quiet. The final fight was kind of funny. They just like tap Shredder on the head like a parent does to a kid when they do a good job. Just the weird battle. Then Shredder gets him. And you're like, oh my God, he wins. But it was a great, just kidding, dudes. I thought that was a pretty cool spot where Shredder laughs. And then Shredder tries to get away, but almost like how he goes to the Dimension X, he gets trapped somewhere else, so he's stuck. He cries, turtles sing. My brother always loves making fun of this spot where April's trying to play the drums, and she drops one of the drumsticks, so you know that she's not actually playing. And for some reason, they didn't edit that part out. In the beginning of the show, Splinter walks with a cane. He's old and hobbly, but now he's out there dancing, feeling like it's almost like a miracle. He's been cured of whatever his old age was. He's out there singing around, and there's a cool poster that comes out, which I thought is fantastic. I love that spot. They play Pizza Power again at the end of the tape where they show the tour of everywhere they're going. I love this thing. It's a great part of Turtle history, and I'm glad that NECA gave us some turtle figures, but it was more popular than we think because at Six Flags Great America here in the States, we get a second one. So can you talk to us a little bit about Getting Down in your town?
Yeah, Getting Down in the town was the follow-up to the Coming Out of the Shells tour, but it wasn't as big as the first one. This is like the tour that ran from 1992 to 1993, and it ran through Six Flags amusement parks over the US and A. And we had 3 new songs in this, which was Getting Down in Your Town, Pizza USA, and We Stick Together. And also, we didn't get April here, but we got Casey. Casey Jones was in this one. I mean, from the tape we've seen, he like his cartoon counterpart never took off his mask, and it's all about like Shredder trying to get back. Yeah, it's a short one. It's like a show you see at an amusement park. Like it's only, I don't know, 20 minutes or something like this. It's really short. It's like, yeah, it's a short follow up, but with 3 new songs, I gotta say.
Yeah, and the songs, again, were just as catchy as the original track. We also get Sing About It, I believe, in this one, which was nice because we didn't get that in the other pay-per-view. The voice of Shredder returns. No Cam Clark for Leonardo, no Master Splinter. The voices of, I believe Mike's voice is still there. I can't recall if Raph's is because it's been a while since I've seen it. But yeah, Christian, TMNT Dare Talk, guys. Be sure to check him out also on Spotify with his amazing podcast and Instagram if you guys are listening to us for the first time. They do some other cool parts here. With Shredder coming back, he gets his own little monologues. He's very bizarre, but he's just such a great character. The voice actor of him had to, like you say, he looked like he was having the time of his life doing this. So the Turtles actually bring him back. There's a battle between Casey Jones and Shredder, and it's almost like a spaghetti arm Casey Jones, like a very scrawny. There's no muscle build. It was just a little weird there on that spot. What else was I going to say? And that's pretty much it. There's really just a little quick fight. They stick together, and that's it. There's really no plot. They're just out there singing, having a good time. I believe this was a VHS tape. I'm not sure if it's a rare item that goes for a lot on eBay, but I have rarely seen it. I never owned it. I only found this out thanks to YouTube. So what other funny parts? Oh, and just I also thought it was weird in the pay-per-view where Baxter Stockman's looking for the Turtles in the back, but we never see him again. So it's possible he gave up or the Turtles jumped him. We don't know. But yeah, any other thoughts? And I guess this is kind of a shorter podcast because there's really not much more else to say about this. Just any other thoughts here? Did you have a favorite song? I think you're like me where you actually still listen to this from time to time. I played the heck out of my cassette tape as well when I was a kid. I'd force my parents to play it when we go for car rides. Any other thoughts you have on this, I guess, Turtleverse here coming out of their shells?
Yeah, hey, it's one of the weirdest things that we got out of the Turtles. Like back then, they had to do everything Turtles, so like a musical tour is not not that unusual, I gotta say. And as I said before, it's one of the things where a lot of people say like this is too weird, this is too goofy, but I enjoy it for what it is. I have a blast. I mean, just watching the making of with everybody acting like the turtles are real. This is too funny. Um, of course, you cannot take it 100% serious, but that's the charm of it, I gotta say. I get enjoyment from it. I have fun with it. I like the music. Gotta say, honestly, I really enjoy the music. Most of the songs I can listen to over and over again. Like Pizza Bauer is a real great song. Cowabunga, Tubin, they are fun songs. They are good. April Blade, fantastic in my opinion. Um, it's just fun, and it's a weird part of TMNT history, but it is part of the TMNT history. So hey, put on some songs. I'm there for it. I sing along all the time.
I agree all the way. I mean, what other place are you going to get music that has decent, rap music, decent, like say, 80s ballad music, rock music, almost a little bit of like folklore to a degree. The only thing we were missing was a good old country song. I'm not sure what the Turtles could have sang about the country. Maybe something about a pizza, but they already had Pizza Power. Just, yeah, I'm with you. I would say Turtle fans who have not seen this, try to find it on YouTube. It's not as bad as you think, as long as you go in with open eyes, open ears, and just enjoy what we had. It's another addition to the Turtles. It didn't kill the Turtles. It didn't make it better. It's just another fun thing to look at. And they went on tour, so you actually had a chance to see this thing live. So I'm with you, TMNT Dare Talk. I love this. Hopefully we'll have you back on again soon, because just when you thought it couldn't get any zanier, Christian and I would like to get into talking to Next Mutation on a future episode. I'm working my way through those as we speak. I'm about halfway done there. I look forward to doing that. But if you guys want to know more about the Next Mutation in advance, and just to get another opinion from our good friend Christian, TMNT Dare Talk, where can they find you for some other podcasts in love of turtles?
Oh yeah. TMNT Dare Talk, my podcast. You can find it pretty much everywhere. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts, and pretty much everywhere else where you listen to podcasts. Or just check out my website, tmnttalk.com, where you can find everything, all the socials. Come on over, join my Discord, meet me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. Pretty much everything that exists has TMNT to talk. So come on over, check out the podcast, and have fun with it.
I appreciate what you've done for the turtle community for well over 10 years, friend. Even on your website, you're such a giver. You have other podcasts that you recommend people check out too, and that's what I think, just to wrap this up, is what the Turtles are to us. They're givers, guys. They just always give, no matter where they are, and good always prevails. So, Christian, we hope to see you again soon, Bud. Thank you so much for your time, as always.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's a pleasure always talking turtles with you. It's always fun.